Well, thanks, guys, for coming. I'm Jonathan Knowles. I'm one of the core members of the NASA Frontier Development Lab team. And before we get to our panel, I want to get, for me and for them, just a quick little insight into who you are out here today. How many of you are in computer science or artificial intelligence? Let's see who's represented in the room. Okay, great. How about planetary science? Heliophysics? Okay. How about some of the others? Just shout out a couple things that I forgot. Economics, biology, mathematics. Okay, great. Interesting mix of people that we have out here. And that was phenomenal, I think, today, the presentations that we heard from folks. This is the second time, of course, that we've been through this with teams, and it gets a little better every time. I can't wait to see how amazing it is next year. During this panel session, I think what we'll do...
Very poised, very articulate. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I don't see Bill in the room. I think he has a mic on. Don't go to the restroom, Bill. Do not go to the restroom right now. That's not a good thing to do. I think what we'll do with this panel right now is take a little time to, first of all, talk a little bit about why this kind of stuff is important. Why is it important that we take these disciplines of AI and planetary science and heliophysics and some of these other disciplines and mash them up together? And what do you think some of the interesting outcomes are going to be? On our panel today, we have Ian Goodfellow, Pete Warden, Vivian Rao, and Lucky Gunasakara. I said it right?
Yep.
I did that. And so, any of you at all, just let's, do you have a microphone? Oh, you need a microphone? And could we grab that one there and bring that one up so we don't have to share too much? What do you think? Is this important? Why is this important that we do these kind of things? What are your general thoughts after spending a day with us today? Pete.
Well, I think this is, this thing works or not.
Let's make sure they're both on. That one's on. You can start with this one and I'll check this one.
I think this is absolutely critical, and it's, I mean, the examples given today were really wonderful, but I think it's just the beginning. And just from my own perspectives, you know, I used to be a bureaucrat, now I'm actually a bigger bureaucrat. but we have a couple projects that we're working. You know, one is looking for extraterrestrial signals.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is we have a modest objective of going to Alpha Centauri. But on the first one, and this is, we share this with the SETI Institute, of course, is the you know, how do you find a signal in these vast amounts of data? And we're just collecting more and more. And this is not something that can be done by, you know, people looking at data.
Yeah.
So across the board, the quantity of data that's being obtained and how to extract useful information is a very serious problem. Second, and I think this was alluded to really in the last talk, that you know, we're getting further and further away from home. In our case, we're going to be 4.3 light years away from home, and you just can't conduct these things without significant AI on board the spacecraft. I mean, it's you send something to the oceans of Europa or Enceladus or something, but you know, you just don't have the time or the ability to have it look for the kind of things it needs to look for.
It's just beyond what we can do without that.
It's so much beyond that. And so I think, to me, that two things is, one is how do you extract useful information from the data, and second is how do we conduct exploration as we get further from home.
Yeah, Lucky, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the sort of presentations we've seen today, I think it's sort of confirmation that deep learning, machine learning, and sort of, air quotation, AI, is really, I mean, it's an ascendant and exponential emerging technology, right? That it's, from our perspective at MISO, you know, when we look at the data around deep learning, we see something that is moving on a J-curve. The barriers for its improvement are falling. day by day. You're starting to see sort of like compounding effects in the areas that are sort of complementary, like cloud computing, data set acquisition, and the like. And more people are moving into it. And I think that sort of, it's amazing that it's happening, but the potential is really, it's sort of uncapped at this point, right? And I think that that's, you know, there are really only every couple decades phenomena like this where technology emerges and it just sort of takes off like a rocket, right? And I think that the outcomes of this will be very unpredictable, but largely beneficial for humanity, not just in space sciences, but in a whole number of fields like healthcare and elsewhere.
This is often the case with technology, is exactly that. And I think it's important for us to remember that it is just a tool. I don't mean just a tool, I mean it's an important tool for us. And it's a fairly new, it's exponential in nature, which makes it feel more new than it actually is, of course, but it's proving to be so useful. Ian, were you gonna jump in on anything there?
Oh, I was just going to identify a few different categories of machine learning algorithms and which ones are ready to go today, which ones are not really quite ready yet.
Yeah.
We've seen that machine learning is really good at copying whatever you can demonstrate for it over and over and over again. If you have a data set of millions of examples where you show it some input and you either know what the true output is or a human can demonstrate that output, then a modern machine learning algorithm can copy that no problem. What we're a lot further away from being able to do is the autonomous robot navigating the ocean. Everything right now needs a lot of human intervention to make sure it's in the right situation where it knows exactly what to do. But you can identify that we're moving toward this kind of higher autonomy. Areas like reinforcement learning that haven't really fully matured yet are on the cusp of doing the kinds of things that we're able to do with supervised learning today.
I think it's great that, by the way, we're here at Intel, the place where, of course, that very famous curve, that exponential curve that we talk about all the time here in Silicon Valley, was really born. Moore's Law, that has now been shown to be true for many things, more or less, at least that curve. And it's, first of all, let me say, it's exciting that Intel is now a part of the FDL because software is part of it. But at the end of the day, we still need the things that we're running all this stuff on to be able to do it. You guys are doing some exciting things here around AI at Intel. You've grown your group significantly, I believe, just recently as well.
Yeah, we have. I mean, you know, this represents the focus that Intel is putting on this. We started an AI group kind of top to bottom, which is, you know, that's actually quite unprecedented within Intel. And you know, and I was running a startup a year ago, and now we're you know, a pretty sizable group within the company. So, I mean, that's a reflection of the changing times, of course, and Intel wants to be a part of this. Kind of going back to the first question, though, I think you know, piece that's very important here. You mentioned Moore's Law. I look at Moore's Law as almost like some sort of genetic law more than anything else. And you know, if you look through biology, I'm a biologist, I'm a neuroscientist. You see the emergence of intelligence on the planet. Actually, our brains and cortices and things growing bigger and bigger, including more data and more capabilities. This is really the next stage of that. I mean, now we can take advantage of observations of not just one organ or one human and what their brain can contain, but what many humans can observe and build machines to observe, and then start finding structure within that. So I think that's what's really fundamentally happening here. It's, I mean, it's a very exciting time. You don't see those transition points happen very often just in the course of existence. So I think it's an exciting time. I don't think we have even fully grasped how exciting it really is.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that the notion of that and this notion of interdisciplinary work that we're starting to see, I think, more and more of. But I think it's more than just the interdisciplinary teams coming together. I think it's a whole mindset change that at least I'm starting to see. And I know you all have a bit of that, and Pete, you've had it for years. We remember, of course, the amazing Yuri's Night event that you did at Ames a few years ago, and I think that showed that mindset. It's awesome that you almost got fired over that. And now look, you're looking to put small things to someplace 4.5 light years away. That's phenomenal. And it's that mindset of, hey, maybe we can do that. Let's see what's possible. really pay attention to that exponential curve, to those accelerating technologies to see what we can do and mash up these disciplines and see what we're going to get. How about some thoughts on where you think we might be able to go with this next year? So last year we focused really just on the asteroid challenge, and this year we added several new things to the Frontier Development Lab. I'm hopeful that we can continue to be exponential in the growth of FDL and what we are addressing. What do you think some other areas where we can apply the various disciplines of AI to go forward?
I'd be happy to start.
You know, one of the most interesting topics in science is the search for life elsewhere. In fact, my foundation, we just looked at if you went to Enceladus, and how do you determine if there's life in the plumes? To me, it's the conclusion is, you know, we don't really have the slightest idea. You know, you could look for an amino acid that's, and I think that this is an intersection between space science, you know, AI and data handling, biology, and chemistry. And it seems to me that would be a very productive area to say, especially I'm looking for weird life, and we're talking about going to Titan. Okay, how do you recognize life when you see it? Indeed, as part of some of the work we did, there was a chemist, Lee Cronin from University of Glasgow, that started to develop a concept of complexity. And so I think this is a question of you know, what is life, and how do we look for it?
So I'm also a member of the board of trustees of the SETI Institute, and astrobiology is one of the focuses. So let's make a note of that, right? I know Bill's smiling, thinking I think we could maybe do something around that. But I couldn't agree with you more. It's one of the most profound questions I think we can ask, and I think AI is one tool that can.
I think the group, I was really impressed with the expertise put together, and to start applying that to that problem.
Yeah.
Is very exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I actually have a mic.
Yeah, Mike, Bill. We heard you on that mic earlier. Did you know?
Terrible. But you know, to this point, we've been speaking to folks, the Science Mission Directorate, about astrobiology, about prebiotic chemistry being one possible for us next year, and another area being biosignature detection, and start taking advantage of exoplanet data, of which there should be a lot more forthcoming, new Space Telescope programs. But these are definitely, I think, getting into the biological sciences. You know, we talk about going to Mars. We're going to bring people to Mars. We're going to bring people to Mars. We're going to need to bring plants. I mean, you know, you can get into plant biology, human biology, the impacts of space travel and extended space, time and space on the human biome, for example, on biological objects. So lots of really interesting areas to bring chemistry and biology
Absolutely.
Into the mix.
A couple other ideas, and you guys, on where you think we might want to go?
Yeah, I mean, early on when FDL2 was being planned, it was around the same time that we were starting MISO, and one of the things that James asked us to take a look at was where does the interface layer between sort of the community in deep learning, machine learning, and the astrophysics, the astro community. And what we found was that there was an interface layer between those two communities of collaboration that sort of had two main characteristics. It was either individuals in deep learning, machine learning, who were excited to use the large data sets that were available in the astro community, or it was individuals in the astro community who just had these data sets and had been working on them for many, many years, that were now excited about some of the algorithmic improvements that deep learning and machine learning were opening up. And I think that sort of the constraint there is you need data sets that are pliable enough. But to Ian's point, there's right now a sort of panoply of algorithms that's scoped to do very well on those sorts of data sets and those sorts of questions. So I think that, you know, without being overly specific, those I think are the characteristics for future areas in FDL, is where the data sets are there and the algorithms are there and the computation is within reach.
Marriage made in heaven. So we want to try to, we are going to stay on time today and wrap this up. I think what we'll do is we'll also throw out to you, considering who this audience is, if you have ideas around where you think we could take the next FDL, if you're interested in being a mentor or you're with a company that'd like to be one of the partners like the others that you've seen up here, why don't you reach out to Bill Diamond, to James. If you have ideas, let us know those ideas as well for next year, but I think you kind of nailed it with a good place to aim for these solutions. Okay, in order to keep on time, we'll wrap this a little faster, but thank you to our panel for spending a little time with us today, and thank you. And back to James and Bill to do the graduation ceremony.
So, getting work in science of the complexity that you've seen here today distilled into 20 minutes is no mean feat. I just wanted to call out our storytelling professional team, Explainables, who really chaperoned every team, every presentation you saw here today, and I thought did a fantastic job. And I think for them as well, I think they had an amazing kind of few hours getting everything together. I just wanted to give them a round of applause and say thanks so much for your hard work. And I have one last thank you. Bill, this is our friends at the SETI Institute, which of course is the home of FDL, and we couldn't do it without their vision and guidance and support. FDL is a complex thing. It takes a lot. It's got a lot of moving parts, and they do it with a grace and efficiency, which really makes it for an amazing experience for everybody. So I just wanted to thank everybody on the SETI team, and Bill and Debbie and Amine and Yvonne, and hopefully everybody who's I haven't mentioned. And of course, in the footsteps of Uncle Carl, and it's an amazing place for us to be at the Carl Sagan Center. But on that, I think it would be remiss also to not mention our colleagues at NASA Ames, and Bruce Pittman's here representing. Bruce, if you want to say hi to everybody, and just say thanks for your efforts as well. And with that, I'll hand it over to Bill to wrap things up.
All right. Well, I'll probably use your help, yeah, because we have just some logistics here. But first of all, again, before we move into the graduation ceremony phase, I again want to thank our partners in this adventure, in this journey this year. So we had just such tremendous support, which not only included, in the case of our lead sponsors like the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg and Space Resources, but also Lockheed Martin and Intel and KX Corporation. They provided actually funding, which among other things enabled us to include participants from overseas. And I think you could hear from some accents that we had a number of them this year, so we were very proud of that and glad to make this truly a global undertaking. But also we had from them and from additional sponsors and partners, including IBM, including who else was on there? The Machine Learning Center at the University of Southern California. And let's see, I mentioned KX already. Who am I forgetting? Well, actually NVIDIA and Autodesk, because these were others who provided us with technology, with hardware, with software, with resources, people that spend a lot of time with the teams. So this entire cadre of partners and sponsors really made the whole event possible. We already talked about Bruce Pittman and Dan Rasky and Charlene and Mark Newfield from NASA Ames and the Space Portal, who were really instrumental in helping us pull this together and actually pull together the right connections with NASA headquarters and the Science Mission Director. I'm very grateful to Victoria Friedenson and to Lika from the Science Mission Directorate regarding both heliophysics and planetary defense for their support and of this program. So again, without this entire orchestra of people and resources, FDL wouldn't have been possible. I hope that the teams demonstrated today the efficacy of this whole area, an arena of machine learning as applied to basic science and fundamental research. I think the panel touched upon some areas where we see just the further development of this marriage. We obviously see this taking place at NASA as the last team, our great undergraduate team, who really looked at this whole question of machine learning and deep science together, where NASA is already deploying it. But I think in terms of basic research, fundamental research, it's something where there's a lot more work to be done and a lot more leverage to be gained. And in terms of the SETI Institute, we increasingly see ourselves as playing the role of an epicenter of machine learning applied to basic research. And with that, we've come to the portion of the program where we'd actually like to hand out the graduation certificates to the team, and I'm going to be helped here by Lika from NASA headquarters in James. I think we'll start with, we'll bring up the teams one group at a time.
Solo with a team.
Yeah, is this someone?
Yeah, solo storms. So we have solo storms come up, please.
Anna Maria. So, thank you so much.
You guys did awesome.
And this is your NASA certified, because NASA doesn't do anything without a patch. This is your NASA certified patch for Frontier Development Lab. Thank you so much. And Daturaj. Congratulations. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
And Sean. But certainly not least, great job. You guys did a wonderful job and a wonderful presentation. Thanks very much. And, so that you cried. Well done. All right. Solar terrestrial. Come on up. All right, Casey.
Yes.
Step forward. Thank you very much. Job well done. You guys did a very, very great presentation. All right. Very good. All right. And Broku. Wonderful job. And articulately delivered presentation. Wonderful job.
Go KP, that was awesome.
Yes. All right, George. All right, great job. Thank you very much. Well done. Good job.
Thank you.
And Bala. Thank you so much, Bala. Just a wonderful job. Thank you.
Go tell Noah in Boulder they should adopt KP.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Great job. Lunar Resources. The Lunar Resources team step up. The moon guys, right? We're going back to the moon. And there's, I don't know how many different companies trying to get there ahead of each other. It's like a lot. All right. Dietmar,
Yeah.
first up and first pamphlet. Here you are. Certificate. Thank you very much. Great job. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Alexis.
Yes, and I do want to add that Luxembourg was really behind this team. Dietmar, although he hails from Germany originally, is at the University of Luxembourg, and the University of Luxembourg really sponsored this Space Resources team. So thank you very much to the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg. And Eleni, great job, beautifully done, nicely presented. All right, thank you. That white sweater is going to look really nice with that new patch. All right, and Anthony. Great job, Tony. Thank you. All right. And Tim. Great job and wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. Okay, the shape modeling team. All right, and it was great to have, the shape modeling team here. Again, I think this demonstrated what can also be done by follow-on work, and you may see more of that next year with the continuation of some of the efforts. I think, if you share this view, we've made a lot of progress in Helio this year as well. It'd be nice to continue that on as the 3D shape modeling did for their work last year. So Adam, please come forward. Thank you very much. Well done. Guys did an excellent job. All right, and Grace, beautiful job. Thank you so much. Well done. And yeah, that looks good with the black. That's going to be marvelous. Thank you so much. Agatha? All right, great job. Well done, and offering, bragging about the physical sciences. We love that. So thank you so much. Well done. All right, and Sean. Sean, great job. Thank you so much. That's an awesome job. More work. Did you keep him too late last night? So we asked Lika last night, this was one of those, devious things that you do to try to mess people up. So we said, Lika, take everybody out and let's see who survives the next day.
At the space bar.
At the space bar, no less, at NASA Ames. Fantastic. Okay, and this is the long period comets team. All right, the long period comets. Comets coming to orbit. Just don't leave any dusty debris behind. All right. No tails, no tails. Okay, Marcello.
Yeah.
Okay. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Did you lose any points for having the old NASA worm on there? No? Oh, good. All right. No. Okay. All right. And Antonio. Wonderful job. Great talk. Well delivered. Thank you so much. All right. Andres. Excellent job. Thank you so much, and great hard work all summer. All right. And Susanna. Susanna, wonderful job. Thank you. Great work. All right. Thank you so much. All right. We have now would the AI Space Sciences team come forward? Now we had long period comets, and we had solar, weather, and so forth, but I don't know that anybody had a cooler name than the project team name than these guys did with AI and space science. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And a wonderful job. And not only, by the way, did they do this survey work that they shared with us tonight in terms of where we can leverage machine learning more to greater effect within the NASA domain, but they also spent time supporting and helping the teams. These guys brought a lot of their own individual experience, not to mention coding and space science knowledge, so they also supported the teams in addition to doing their own work. So great job. Jack? Congratulations. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Jack.
Morgan? Wonderful job. You're in the patch. All right, and Justin. Great job. Thanks so much. All right, patch. could we have the mentors? I know that some of them are not all here, but let's hear for the AI and Space Science Institute. If we could have our mentors come on up. Peter, are you here? And Michael, Sashi, who else? And Sita. Where's Peter? He's still here? Here he is. That's right. It's worth a lot. JL, is JL here? JL, put the camera down. Come on up. All right. So, Peter. Thank you so much. And great to have you mentoring a team again, as you did last year. So a double contribution. Thank you so much. And Michael. Michael also, for the second time, mentoring an FDL team. Michael, thanks very much. Great job. All right, Troy. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's right. Brad, is Brad here still? He was here earlier. All right. This side. And Graham, is Graham still here? Oh, there he is. Come on up, Graham. Graham has also been with us this year and last year, and brought IBM into the picture for us, and helped really a lot with the very beginning, the big think meetings we had even last year to put this summer's project together. So great to have Graham here. And Andres. Thank you so much. And you are now famous since you did your own Facebook Live event for the SETI Institute. Other 50 or 100,000 people know who you are. And Chetty. Chetty's a returning champion. So he was in the World Series last year. Chetty was one of our participants in FDL last year, so one of the first ones. And once again, he brought just incredible energy as well as knowledge and expertise that not only did he share with one team, but he really went from team to team, providing incredible support and focus. And Chetty, really wonderful job. Thank you so much. All right, and Monica. And for those of you who don't know, but presumably you can imagine, the mentors are also representative of both domains, the AI and machine learning domain, as well as the physical sciences. So you're seeing a cross section up here. And Mark. Yes. Thank you so much. And thanks to Mark also, we had the support and participation and involvement of Lockheed. So wonderful to have Mark with us this year. And JL, another returning star from Setterfield last year. JL, great job. Thanks so much. All right, and Sita? Thank you so much. All right, and Sashi from Intel. We don't do it without the mission patch. And a special thank you also to Sashi, because Sashi brought a lot of passion and energy and really convinced Intel to get in behind this project and brought Intel in as a partner. So Sashi, a special thanks to you. But a special thanks to all of them. The mentors really put in so much energy and support and worked to help their teams and make them successful, and brought their own subject matter expertise and backgrounds to bear on these problems. And a big thank you from all of us. We'll do these right now. Okay. But we'll do the other things. So I would also like to ask Sarah Jennings to come up, if she would. Teddy, I would like Teddy to actually stay here if you would. Debbie, can you come back up? And if Debbie Collier's in the audience, would you step forward? Where's Chetty? Did he run away so fast? Debbie? Debbie escaped awfully fast.
Chetty's right there.
Chetty.
Chetty, yes.
Hello. Earth to Chetty. All right. So again, I wanted to. We had some, I guess, special achievement awards that we wanted to hand out this year in recognition of going the extra mile. We had so many people go the extra mile to pull off this program this year. In our own Human Resources Department, Armine, our Human Resources Director at the Institute, saved the day. As we did last year with getting visas for all our international participants and dealing with all the complexities of bringing the team together. But I do want to highlight the people on the stage here with me, especially today, for all their extra efforts in making this program go off. So to Sarah, for your outstanding contributions to the 2017 NASA Frontier Development Lab Research Accelerator, your dedication, energy, and passion in both organizing and managing the workshop were essential ingredients to its success. So thanks very much. And for Debbie Collier, for your outstanding contributions to the 2017 NASA Frontier Development Lab Research Accelerator, and your dedication, energy, passion in both organizing and managing the program were essential ingredients to its success as well. Thank you so much. All right, and as I mentioned before, Chetty is a returning veteran, the only one who last year was a participant and this year was a mentor. But again, he shared his time and energy with all the teams. So in recognition of that, for outstanding contributions to the 2017 NASA Frontier Development Lab Research Accelerator, your leadership and expertise as both an FDL participant in 2016 and a data science mentor for FDL in 2017 were key ingredients to the impact and success of both programs. So thank you so much. Back to the left, back to the right. All right, that concludes our program. And thank you all for coming. Thank you for your patience. A long afternoon, but I think hopefully a wonderful afternoon, something enlightening and something to give you future pause for. I'd like to thank Lika and Victoria for helping. Of course you get badges. You absolutely do. Our reviewers all get badges too, so we have those for the preview.
We have one more thing. I'll hand over to Katie and Sashi. Do you want to take?
So, thank you all, everyone, for being here. We're really, we feel very privileged and awesome that you are coming out here to Intel to celebrate with us. We believe at Intel that AI is the future, and we're investing very heavily. And we also don't do events without swag. So all the researchers are going to be getting one of these lovely Intel Nirvana speakers. We really appreciate working with you, and we really enjoyed your energy and the amount of enthusiasm you put in. God knows I would have rather been there than sitting in meetings at Mother Intel. I wanted everyone to celebrate this again. Please give the researchers a round of applause. And, I have just one more thing, and I kind of feel like I should have the Steve Jobs turtleneck on, being up here. We figured, a speaker is a great techie gadget, but we should give you something that has to do with AI. So a couple of weeks ago, we released a USB stick called the Movidius Neural Compute Stick, getting the branding rights from my branding people are back here. It sold out in 20 minutes, 2,500 units in 20 minutes. I got some for you guys. So researchers. Someone said in the presentations that what resources do you need? You're going to have some resources in your pocket. We're going to be sending these directly out to you once the second batch comes in. I tried to, co-opt a shipment, and that didn't go so well. But we want you to carry AI with you wherever you go. So enjoy that. They'll be coming to you. And congratulations again. Come enjoy some food and drink with us out on the patio now. All right. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And I look ahead to FDL 7.0. We're going to make it just like Oprah. And at the end, we're going to say, and everybody gets the keys to a self-driving car. So look forward to that. I'll see you for FDL 7.0. Thank you again, everybody. And please, yes, come and join us for refreshments.